Hey everyone, my name is Danny Dumas, and this is the Earn Your Title podcast. Today, I'm going to tell you about a call I went on as a firefighter that changed my life. And if you've ever been to a party with a first responder, they're going to have stories. And I have a lot. I have a bunch of stories. And sometimes I'll get asked, like, what's the worst thing you've ever seen? Or what's the craziest thing or funniest thing? And I'll give you a kind of a heads up. If it's a party and you want to have fun, don't ask a fireman or a cop what's the worst thing they've seen, because it's not going to be good. And, you don't want to kill the vibe of a fun party. That being said, if you ever ask a first responder, what's the worst thing you've ever seen, and they get offended at all by that, like, oh, you don't want to know. You don't want to know what my eyes have seen, whatever. Those dudes have never seen anything real. They've maybe been on one or two calls, and they're hanging on to that call as like the most traumatic event of their life. If it really affected them that much that they would, that a question like that would bother them, they probably really haven't been there or done that. So you're never going to offend me if you ask me what's the worst thing I've ever seen. I'm probably going to skip it and give you the funniest thing or the craziest thing or the most impactful thing. So if you said the funniest thing or craziest thing, I had a story where a lady got in a car accident and hit a gas station, gas pump. So there was a gas problem outside. We go inside for the medical problem because she's running around cussing and yelling and screaming and using like English words, but not in sentences. She was completely like out of her mind. I don't know why. And she was naked from the waist down. And so we're trying to get her some clothes, like a blanket on her, because she's naked. And at one point she lays down in like the birthing position, and you can obviously just see everything. We're like, man, let's get it, let's get you covered up. And she's going nuts. And I remember it was me and my paramedic partner, and we had a student, this female student. And all of a sudden she jumps up and she looks at us and she reaches behind her and she pulls a plastic bag out. And it took me about 0.3 seconds to realize she doesn't have pants on. And she just pulled a plastic bag out of somewhere, and realized where she pulled the plastic bag of as she's throwing it. So I'm diving behind the candy aisle. My partner's diving behind the chip aisle. And the poor EMT student is just like deer in the headlights. She's locked in. The bag's coming at her. We had to pull her out of the way. And we realized it was extremely gross, crazy, just wild story. And like, those are the kind of things that most people expect. So when I tell you this story, it is not going to be crazy like that. It's not going to be wild, but it is one of the most impactful stories. And it started off very simple with a patient who got they were laying down in a field. That's how it came. And there's someone laying down in a field. So we pulled up to this apartment complex, and there was, maybe like a football-sized field between each apartment. And there's a lady sitting down in the middle of the field. And I walked up. I said, how are you doing? And she's up. She's conscious. She's looking at us. And I look, and her foot is stuck in a hole like past her knee. So like almost her like upper thigh is all the way down inside this hole. I said, how are you doing? She goes, I think I'm okay. I said, okay. Are you hurt? She said, I don't know. And I said, what do you mean? She goes, I don't know if I'm hurt. I'm like, well, have you moved your leg at all? She goes, nope, I haven't moved it. I said, do you want to? She goes, do you think I should? I said, yeah, let's go ahead and give it a move. And so she kind of wiggles around a little bit. And I said, does that hurt? She goes, no, that doesn't hurt. I said, okay, are you stuck? Is that why you're sitting in the middle of a field with your leg in a hole? She said, I don't know. I haven't tried to get out. And I said, okay, do you want to try to get out? And she said, do you think I should? And I said, yeah, I think you should. Lady goes to pull her leg out, and she wasn't stuck. We gave her a hand up. She pulls her leg out of the hole, and I said, you need anything else? She said, no. She headed back to her apartment, and that was it. And I got back in the truck, and me and the guys were just laughing at her. Like, man, what an idiot. Like she was so like helpless that she stepped into a hole, which I'm sure was traumatic, right? But she wasn't hurt at all. And she wasn't even stuck. And I don't even think if I remember it, she didn't even call 911. She was just sitting there with her foot stuck in a hole, not injured, or not foot in a hole, not even stuck, not even injured, and not even asking for help. Someone else called 911. And, I thought that was really funny. And to be honest with you, we made fun of this lady, and hopefully she never hears this. Maybe it's not a lady. Maybe I'm changing it up to protect the innocent. You never know. But, a couple of days later, I was thinking about that call, and it was at this point in my life where I was actually going through some uncertainty, some things that I didn't know how to deal with it. For my entire adult life up to that point, and I had probably been a fireman for probably 13 or 14 years, I knew this is what I wanted to do. And I wanted to be the best firefighter I could be. And I wanted to be a Pontiac firefighter, which is where I had currently worked. And then, long story short, the Pontiac Fire Department where I worked, basically the whole city went bankrupt. They dissolved the fire department and another department took us over. And I was not happy about that. I got demoted. I got dropped down my rank. I had to go to a station that I didn't want. I was currently working in a city that I didn't want to be in. And I didn't know if I was happy, which just sounds weird. Like, how do you know you're not happy? I mean, I was doing the job that I had always wanted to do, but I couldn't figure out if I wanted to keep doing this. And honestly, I felt like I was stuck. But I wasn't doing anything to get unstuck. And that's where the story just became super impactful in my life, because it made me realize that I actually had all the tools that I needed to make a decision. I just had to do something, right? I just had to make a decision and then take action. And I think a lot of times in our life, when we get stuck, we don't really know how we got there. Like how I'm in the situation. I'm in a marriage that I'm not happy with. I'm in a job I'm not happy with. I'm in a financial situation that I'm not happy with. And I'm just stuck. And, it's bizarre because you got yourself in that situation by decisions you make, but sometimes you can't see that the decisions you make could get you out. And so what I'm here to encourage you today is that you have the ability to get yourself in a really bad spot, which is unfortunate. The exciting thing is you have the ability to get yourself out of a really bad spot. And I want you to take action. Now, I think it's helpful to have a plan. And what I did is that kind of sparked my genesis to maybe even like getting to this podcast, where I decided maybe I didn't know enough, had all the information that I needed to be the person I wanted to be. So I kind of went down the journey of self-improvement by reading and studying and getting some mentors. You should do that. Figure out where you do want to be. I knew at that moment I didn't want to be where I was at least in the mindset. I had to try to figure out, do I want to be a firefighter? Did I only want to be a Pontiac firefighter, or do I just want to be a firefighter? If that's the case, then I can be that, right? I can't go backwards. And if I just wanted to work in the city of Pontiac and retire from the city of Pontiac, that was gone. And I had no more control over that. But what did I have? I had the ability to think through it, to see where I did want to be and say, you know what? And I made that decision. I want to be a good firefighter. I want to be a good officer. I want to be a leader. I want to move and progress and grow in my career. And so I made a decision to do that. As soon as I made the decision to do that, that was great. But then I had to take action. What were the actions? I had to find people that were doing what I wanted to do. I had to get online, and that's where a lot of the resources are, and get more information, listen to podcasts, read books. And so that was me. Okay, I'm not stuck. Okay, I'm moving. I'm taking the action. There's something in your life that you're not happy with. Decide you're not happy with it. Figure out where you want to go. Find someone who's done that, whether that's a mentor in person, online, a coaching group, something like that, and then take action. You have to pull your foot out of the hole. You're in a hole because you stepped in a hole. Move around. If you're injured, then go get help. That could be counseling. That could be, therapy. That could be medications if it's a mental problem. It could be that you're physically actually hurt, like your knees hurt, your back hurts. You need to go out and do some things that are going to help you rehab that. Take action. You have the ability to change your life for good or for bad, but it's not going to happen if your foot is stuck in a hole and you're just sitting there not realizing it. First step is to realize you're stuck. Second step is to realize you need to get out, and then to get out. I know this is not a super complex thought or argument, but I want to make sure that you know that there's people out there that want to help you. And one of those people is me. I have the desire to take what I've learned and share it with other people. Please reach out. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me, Danny@DannyDumas.com is my email. That's probably the easiest place to reach me. But I truly want to help, because it changed my life when I asked for help. It changed my life when I realized that I had a problem, that I was stuck, and that I could get unstuck. So I'm asking you right now, are you okay? If you're not okay, let's get the help. If you are okay, are you stuck? if you're not stuck, let's step out of the hole. Get yourself out of the situation that got you here. If you're in a stuck marriage, go get counseling. Go treat your wife like your girlfriend and see how that works. Do something. You are not stuck. You're addicted to pornography. Do something. Get unstuck. You are addicted to drugs, alcohol, smoking. Do something. Get unstuck. Take action. You can do this. I can help. Reach out to me. Reach out to a friend. Reach out to your pastor. Reach out to your old football coach in high school. Somebody can help you get you out of this hole. You're not stuck. If I can be that one, reach out. I am so thankful for you guys that have listened to this. Hopefully this is inspiring. I know it was a little different than what I normally do, but again, reach out to me, Danny at DannyDumas.com. And thank you for listening to this podcast, because this is the Earn Your Title podcast. And I'm Danny Dumas, and I will talk to you later. Bye.